Day, October 6th, 2025 shall come to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Mark, that we approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same, motion carries. To number 3, approval of the consent agenda. We need approval of City Council meeting minutes of September 15, 2025, of which you have a copy. We need approval of the bills and claims, of which you also have a copy. We need approval of purchase of sewer inspection camera and locator from Woodford Wheeler in the amount of $11,999. We need approval of pay estimate number 17 in the amount of $57,762 to Dean Snyder Construction for the Music Experience Center. We have the following license and permits: excavator license, Dulis Excavating of Wells, Minnesota, North Iowa Turf and Irrigation of Garner, and 2 Jasons, Clear Lake. Those are new. Motion to approve the agenda, consent agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Beth Ann, seconded by Creighton, that we approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Now is the time and place for any citizen in the audience who wishes to address the council on any item or issue that is not on tonight's agenda. Please approach the podium, state your name first and last, and give your address so that the clerk can properly enter the minutes. This is not a discussion time, nor a question and answer time, and you have 3 to 5 minutes. None appearing, we'll move along to unfinished business, of which we have none. We'll move directly to new business, partial roof replacement, Clear Lake Public Library. Intro and review by Aaron Ruggles, our library director. Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm here tonight on behalf of the library. I am respectfully requesting the City Council's consideration and support of funding replacement of the former Masonic Temple North roof. It's a partial replacement, removal of existing roof membrane, disposal, and new flashing along the perimeter of the wall. Midwest Roofing Company is my preferred bid with $24,996. Mason City Roofing being the other bid I solicited, came in at $28,314. That's all I have. Thanks for your consideration.
Council, any questions for Mr. Ruggles? Concerns? None appearing. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. Therefore, I'll entertain a motion to approve bid proposal from Midwest Roofing Company with regard to the Clear Lake Public Library partial roof replacement in the amount of $24,996. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Bennett, seconded by Beth Ann, that we approve the proposal of Midwest Roofing in the partial roof replacement of the library. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. B, 6B, Surf District Oaks Hotel Project. Intro, Mr. Steve Deers, our city administrator. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, just to introduce this, I know we had a workshop here on September 24th. We reviewed, at that time, 3 different options for how the hotel and area could be impacted. And from that workshop, we were hoping to meet tonight to really get feedback from the council on which option, if any, you'd be supportive of pursuing. Well, since that time, work started on what has been called now option 4. And that's really an attempt to try and go through the various options that exist and find the pluses from those and put it into one final option. So we've been doing some work on that. Matt Stedding's here to kind of walk us through that. So I thought we could review that option 4 and then review all options after at that point and open it up for your discussion.
Thank you, Steve. Council, any questions of Steve before I move to Matt? Okay, review of design option number 4, Matt Stedding, our city engineer. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council, hope everybody's having a great start to your week. So tonight, we're gonna go through a few options here with the hotel project that we've been looking at. So at our September 23rd council workshop, if you all remember, we had the opportunity to review 3 separate hotel layout options for the Surf District area. Each of these options brought something unique to the table, and through that discussion, 2 of them really came to the surface. Option 1 and option 3 stood out to be the majority of who was present there that evening. Each of these options had their own strengths as well as challenges, and after listening carefully to both city staff, the development team, as well as community members, we took the best of what we heard and used it to shape a new and improved concept that we are now calling option 4. So let's go through a brief overview of option 4 and kind of what option 4 is. Option 4 combines the strong site layout and green space of option 1 with the enhanced traffic flow and circulation improvement seen that we had in option 3. The result here is a balanced, forward-thinking design that better supports public safety, connectivity, as well as overall community experience. So what makes this option really different? First and foremost, option 4 introduces an expanded green space area, something that's becoming increasingly rare in these types of mixed-use developments. Rather than filling every available area with hard surface, this hotel development team prioritized creating an inviting and open green space where families and friends can gather. This will not only serve as a beautiful visual buffer between the hotel and the lake, but will also help function as a natural runoff buffer, improving stormwater management. This intentional design gives the entire district a more campus-like feel that promotes both safety and connectivity, encouraging pedestrians to explore the area in comfort and safety. Improved traffic, safety, and pedestrian connectivity is a big one to touch on with this option. Another major plus is the introduction of a 4-way stop at North Shore Drive and Beach Drive, which we don't currently have today. From a traffic engineering and safety standpoint, this is a major step forward. The new stop condition creates a safe and direct pedestrian crossing to the proposed public dock area. This is essential for the lake connection and a key component of the district's long-term vision down in this area. In addition, option 4 also introduces 19 public parking stalls along Beach Drive, just to the north of North Shore Drive, as you'll see on the exhibit. To put this into perspective, previously between Redstone and Grill Harbor, there were 8 parking stalls, plus another 9 stalls on Beach Drive just to the north side of North Shore Drive. This is a total of 17. Under option 4, with the redesign and lake connection improvements, we'll see a net increase of 10 public parking stalls overall, while maintaining nearly all existing public parking between the Redstone and Grill Harbor. This is a really huge deal down for this district area. This improvement is a significant benefit for the Surf District as well as all the local surrounding businesses. So next we come to a more streamlined circulation and symmetry overall. Option 4 improves the district's overall traffic symmetry as well as flow by providing only one connection from Beach Drive to North Shore. This adjustment restores logical block alignment and reduces unnecessary turning movements, improving both safety and wayfinding. Wayfinding is going to be a big attribute in getting pedestrians down to the lake connection overall. Additionally, converting Beach Drive into a 2-way street will help alleviate any congestion around the hotel area and make navigation more intuitive for both visitors and residents alike. So now we'll move into kind of the realignment of 7th Avenue. This is perhaps the most visual change that you'll see in option 4, and it's really the realignment of 7th Avenue, shifting it behind the hotel area. This realignment will create 2 separate parking areas, a north and a south hotel parking lot, and establish stop control intersection where 7th Avenue meets Beach Drive. To address safety within these 2 lots, the design includes a tight radial alignment approaching each parking area. The curve is designed to naturally slow vehicle speeds while still maintaining a minimum inside 25-foot turning radius to ensure full access for emergency vehicles if needed. Along this corridor, we'll be installing ample lighting as well and marked pedestrian crossings to guide both guests and residents safely through the area. This will be a big enhancement to the current area. So in summary here, option 4 brings together what I feel is the very best elements from the previous concepts and refines them into both a cohesive, functional, and visually appealing design. It strengthens pedestrian connections, enhances vehicle traffic, increases public parking, and preserves valuable green space, all while creating a unified layout that supports the long-term vision for the Surf District. I think we really tried to come together here and create a really cohesive development, and it's a big opportunity for the city along with residents to enjoy this beautiful public space that we have before us. So sitting behind me is both the development team, George, Dale, Chelsea, and Jared. Along with myself, I'd be happy to answer any questions that any of you may have.
Thank you, Matt, for all this. Mr. Mayor, may I speak to this?
Certainly.
I appreciate this a lot, and I just have one more question for you and the team, because we talked at our workshop about the need to make sure we have ADA accessibility there on the west side of the MEC. Will that be easier to do now with this process?
Exponentially, yes.
Okay.
Matt, thank you very much for
Just
your
a
work.
second.
Oh, I'm
Beth Ann, are
sorry.
you complete?
I'm done, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
Go
my
ahead,
fault,
Doug.
Mayor.
Go
Didn't
ahead,
mean to
Doug.
interrupt. Thank you. Just a quick question on bus traffic. I know that was an item that we had discussed. It seems to me, but I want your opinion, that, you know, it seems this would help our bus traffic and drop off a lot. Could you chat about that a little bit?
You were correct. Along with the four-way stop condition that we're placing at North Shore and Beach, this will allow any bus traffic that does meander down Beach Avenue an access route out of the district area and back to 18. So it would create a very compelling argument for circulation in that area for bus traffic to get out, should they ever go down there. This will indeed not be the path that is ultimately decided, but if buses do end up down there, they'll be able to get out.
Thank you, Mayor.
Other comments from the councilman? You did mention it'll be two-way traffic on Beach Drive, correct?
That's correct, Mr. Mayor.
And we have a total of 19 places parking along Beach Drive, correct?
Well, we currently have a total of 18, and it will be improved to 28 spaces.
Okay, the total number there by the Three Stars Park now, to the west there? Nine to nine.
That goes, yeah, overall, yeah, that space goes to
Okay.
19.
Okay. The difference is plus 10 then. And it's two-way back, two-way out. Emergency access, chief, sufficient?
One more question really quick,
Sure.
Matt, just for clarification. At Beach Drive and 7th Avenue North, will that be now required three-way stop at that location?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Three-way, four-way?
That's just, that'll be a T intersection,
T.
so
T-
there'll be a stop condition
Okay.
at 7th.
Okay.
It'll be a single stop sign. Beach will be through to a stop sign down at North Shore.
All right.
Okay.
Three-way intersection,
Intersection.
one stop condition on 7th.
Perfect.
All right, I'll say it again. Council, any more comments? Positive, negative?
Yeah, I'll make comments, not a question, but definitely appreciate Matt. Also, the architect here, having a local builder, all of those are huge positives into where we found ourselves maybe after the last meeting. At the last meeting, I thought we had three, I won't even call them good options. We had three options, and they all had specific cons about them, and big cons. This one, I think you've done a great job in working with Atura, done a great job addressing those cons and allowing many of the positives to shine through here. For example, the green space, the added parking, and then you've kind of fixed the traffic flow issue. I think that should help out a ton. So again, just definitely appreciate having you be a part of it, having a local builder, having a local architect have been huge in this because it allows us to take feedback. And we've said for a few weeks now that we appreciate everybody's feedback, and I think this shows that we truly do because we've taken that feedback. And I think we started with option one back in the beginning, and then we added on some additional options, but still none of them were good enough. And this one, I myself feel like this one's good enough, and I've seen it for at least a few days, if not a week or so, seeing where this is being developed. So appreciate all of that. And again, this is an excellent project that we're working on here. This hotel is a huge economic generator. Not only a lot of our projects, we talk about property tax, but hotels bring hotel motel tax right away. But then they also bring to the community people who are doing day trips before. Now hopefully they can stay in that area and they'll utilize the local restaurants, utilize the other businesses down there, and also bring, of course, with this project, additional jobs to the market. So excited at the direction that this option is taking and excited for the project overall.
Any further comments, council?
Yes, Mayor, if I
Yes.
could, I'd like to just echo some of that Creighton said. I think, we looked at different options. I think I appreciate the work that Matt, you, and Jared have done to construct this option 4 with a mindset toward compromise. And, it's not perfect. I'm sure not everybody will love it, but I think it's a very workable option. As Creighton said, I think it's a great project for economic development. Specifically, what I like about it, because I think there's a really broad public interest in keeping 7th Avenue North open in some form, as I've said. So it allows that accessibility and connectivity on 7th. Also, want to thank you for discussing the enhanced lighting and crosswalk, things that we'll take a hard look at to make sure that's a safe passageway through there. And as you pointed out, the traffic will be slowing down because of that curve. I also like the additional parking there, the 19 spots for small business owners in the area. I think that was an excellent way to do that. And then the green space between the hotel and the MEC, that was very important part of option 1 that the development team wanted. So I see it as a really positive set of compromises, and I think it's very workable for us. And again, just want to thank you and the development group and everyone involved with it. So thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, may I also convey my thanks?
Please.
All right, to city engineer and development group and Atura for helping us with this. This is indeed a nice compromise, and compromise is always good. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dana, comment?
I echo all those comments as well. Thank you. This has not been an easy road. There was quite a few people in support of closing the road, and just as many, if not more, in supporting it to leave it open. And so the compromise that we've approached here it's been a win-win. It's not a perfect, as Bennett said, it's not a perfect scenario, but to reach the perfect scenario is sometimes not possible. So I appreciate your time. I know there's been some late nights and a little bit of stress, and so thank you all. It's been easy and hard at times, but just a big thank you. Being on this end of it sometimes is maybe even some sleepless nights. Lots of texts and emails and calls, and so thank you all very much for trying to create option 4 and doing it.
And I think that goes for everyone. I mean, this is a team effort between everybody and the community as well. Like, we heard a lot of comments, and we took everything into account.
One last question. Jeremy, our street maintenance supervisor, had all the other things. Any concerns, summer, fall, winter, spring?
No, nothing that's not unusual about any other area down there as far as snow removal. Any on-street parking is an obstacle, right? So, nothing we haven't come across anyways. No, I mean, I don't see any issues with anything there. Four-way stop, I think is, an added benefit for everybody. Those intersections down there have always been tricky and dangerous at times. And I think it actually probably, as far as snow removal operations, help us out a little bit on the North Shore section there, so. Might just have to look at ordinance parking, overnight parking stuff, but we change that, we can cross those bridges when we get there. There we go.
Yeah, thanks for that input. Mark, comment?
I think this is great. It took us a while to get here, a lot of collaboration. This, in my mind, checks pretty much all the boxes of issues that people approached me about. And looking forward to getting it done and getting past this. But no, thank you for everyone that was involved. And I do appreciate all the public comments. Brought a lot of things to my attention that I didn't think of, which is great. So, but yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, I know the amount of time that you've put in being an office or two away. And when your door is closed, I'm smart enough to know not to open it up. But you've done very, 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 very well in coordinating all of this. Mr. Deers, next step here.
Well, since we're throwing a new option at you tonight, we didn't put anything on the agenda tonight for you to take action, so we don't expect you to take action. But if there is any type of consensus on a direction that you'd like to share with us, it'd be nice for our team to be able to start down that road with design work. And so we can hit the ground running, look at having this officially on the agenda for October 20th for you guys to take action to consider an option officially, and then that would then send it to planning and zoning. They happen to meet that very next week, so they'd be able to review it. And in theory, they may be able to come back with a recommendation by the time we have our first council meeting in November, potentially. And then that's a matter of considering their option, their recommendation, and then at that point, we could, if that's approved, we could look to set public hearing on the development agreement piece of it. That'd probably happen 2 weeks later, so that's kind of where we're at. So, I mean, if there's a consensus of a direction, I mean, that would be great to hear. Otherwise, I fully respect the need to let this soak in for a couple weeks, hear feedback, and make an official determination on the 20th.
Did my ears hear a consent of being positive on option 4? Comments?
I think it definitely outweighs the other options.
I agree.
So I would move forward with this one and not the others because of the cons in the other ones.
I agree with what Creighton just said. I would be very much in favor of number 4, to move forward with that.
I'm positive on moving forward with option 4 as well.
As am I.
Good with it as well.
Mr. Deers, I think you heard
That sounds great.
the responses. Thank you. Thank you, Matt. We'll move along to 6C. Thank you all once again for that on 6B. The Ridge, Phase 1 preliminary plat review. Matt Stedding, City Administrator. Matt?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. This one here, the Ridge, it's been a while coming, I think, for Eric Molstead and his brother. I believe Eric's here tonight, in case you guys have any additional questions. But what we're looking at here is a preliminary plat for storage condo buildings out on Eric's parcel of land just to the east of North 40th Street. So if you look at your aerial here, so Main Ave is kind of down in the southwest corner, and then that rolls into North 40th Street. So what this is tonight is a preliminary plat for the first 3 buildings of the overall concept, design, and layout for this development. It is associated with 12 total condo units, so 3 separate buildings on the north side of the ground. Eric and his brother just recently parceled off a 1-acre piece just to the north to absolute waste removal, and they're working on a scale up in that area right now as well. So, addition to these plans, there's also a water main extension along with sanitary sewer force main. So currently, we have water down on North 32nd Street, so we'd be connecting down there, and we'd be running it all the way up to Eric and his brother's property to serve them, and it also gets us well underway to our North 40th loop that we've been trying to create for a very long time. Ultimately, we'll go underneath the railroad tracks to the north, and it'll open up a whole nother development area on North 40th. So ultimately, we'll connect in on the other side of 18. So currently, Eric is still reviewing some numbers, but I think hopefully we can come to agreement on that, and then we can talk about that at one of the council meetings in the near future. But they're running sanitary force main on this site, much due to the issues with dewatering as well as elevations that would be contending with trying to get sanitary up to the site. So all of these storage units will essentially have low flow pumps that will pump down, or their gravity down to a lift station, and the lift station will carry it through a force main and dump back into our public sanitary sewer down close to North 32nd Street. If you guys have any questions about this, I'd be happy to answer, or Eric can come up and elaborate a little farther as well on what they're planning to do out here.
And as you and I discussed this morning, that the surrounding property owners seem to be fine with this.
Yes, that's my understanding. And this property doesn't have to be rezoned. It's already light industrial, so it fits right within those parameters.
Okay. We, at this point in time, we can get the water there.
This development helps push us being able to get the water to North 40th Street.
All right.
And let's face it, we don't have a whole lot of opportunities to get it around there. This is huge, very huge for the city.
Mr. Mayor, may I speak to this?
Sure.
This is in my ward, so I've been talking with some of the people in my area, and this is very important. I think I was concerned a little bit of how they might respond to this, but it looks very well designed. And getting, I know how hard it was just to get water and sewer out to where I live on North 35th. So getting it all the way out there, I really appreciate the work that's being done on this, so thank you.
And looking to the future, eventually, as we are, this is down the road, but underneath the railroad tracks, underneath Highway 18 to hook up with the water that we already have to service the Mason City Public Airport. And then that's long-term down the road, but
It's a good start.
it'll all fit then, that's good.
Correct. Yep, it's a good start. And there's future expansion that's being talked about too at the airport, so that's all in the works, so
Yeah.
this will be a good start forward. But I'm sorry, I believe I misspoke earlier. I said North 32nd, but it's actually 35th is where we're bringing water up from,
Right.
so.
Right. Anything else? Any other comments by that? Thank you very much. That's good.
You're
Good-
welcome, Mr.
Good,
Mayor.
good work there. Good work. So we need a motion to approve resolution number 2529, a resolution approving preliminary plat for the Ridge Phase 1 subdivision, Clear Lake, Iowa. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Beth Ann, seconded by Mark, that we approve resolution 2529. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Zero. And Resolution 2529 is duly adopted. D, rezoning request, 502 South 12th Street. Once again, Mr. Stedding.
Mr. Mayor, Council. So before you here, we have a rezoning request. Current property owners are Wilton and Joyce Hunzecker of 502 South 12th Street. So what they're looking to do, David Albright, owner of A through Z Properties, currently has the 4th Ave storage facility right now. He's looking to purchase this property and expand 3 additional storage buildings to the south. And he is looking, it's a 3.2 acre parcel with a single family residential, medium density is what it's zoned. They're looking to take that to intensive commercial, CI1, which would match his property to the north. So what it's gonna be essentially is a lot split there. So the current residential property adjacent to South 12th Street, where the Hunzeckers currently reside, that will be left single-family residential. And then the piece just to the east would be 2.4 acres, which would be rezoned to intensive commercial. And that's what would have the proposed storage facilities on it. So there were several iterations of this. I will say, I mean, this is a well laid out engineering drawing from Bishop Engineering that they put together. When you go through the rezoning process, it's not only 50% of the land within a 200-foot radius of the property, but it's also 50% of the landowners. That basically allows it so that one person can't control all of the rezoning capabilities. I will say that Mr. Albright did a substantial job, in my opinion, by going around to as many of the property owners as he physically could, sat down, had good conversations. I've really heard all good things about what Mr. Albright did and the way that he presented himself and talked about what the project was all gonna be about. There's obviously some people that were negative towards it, but you're gonna have that with any project. He did get all the required signatures to move the rezoning forward. So, yeah, that's what they're looking for tonight. And then if this moves forward, we'll move on to set a public hearing at the next council meeting and then 3 readings for the rezoning. So it's a process yet. And then Mr. Albright would be bringing forward the site plans at the next possible, it'd be at the P&Z meeting at the end of November likely. So if you guys have any questions about this, I do know if you look at this plan, so when he was going around speaking to the local residents, a lot of them on the south side, they wanted more of a landscaping buffer, so he did increase that to 25 feet. So that's a large area out of the 2.4 acre parcel that he's proposing. And then he's set aside stormwater detention area on the east, and then keeping that remaining residential lot as a buffer out to South 12th Street. I think kind of keeps this hidden back in there as well as possible. And he was proposing sanitary and water to more storage condos, and then that has since been removed. So these are all just storage buildings, no utilities run to them at all. Pretty straightforward as far as buildings go. And I believe Mr. Albright Mr. Albright's here if you guys have any questions for him too.
The only, an issue I have, and we've done a wonderful job, and this is the second edition Mr. Albright has done of this particular property there. But, you know, in some respects in this community, we're trying to build up the residential and here, but if property owners 4 through 14 have approved of this, which appear to me to be mostly residential areas, then I guess that answers my question.
I believe you got the majority of those on the south, correct? Yeah.
It's an interesting place for that. I have been through those at Mr. Albright's suggestion. They're very nice. But it's the concept that we've got here of residential versus this type of
It's for sure.
structures, I guess. is what
It's
I'm
for
saying.
sure a balance, Mr. Mayor. I mean, we have a industrial corridor running right down Fourth Avenue, so it's finding that balance for sure.
Yeah.
And one thing, you know, at first, I cautiously approached this project, just seeing what I saw and listening to what I heard, but one thing I'll say is that Mr. Albright went through the necessary steps. He went out, he beat the pavement, he went to the people, and he asked them, and I'll commend him for doing that.
Yeah, I don't doubt any of that. He's a quality person, and that's not the issue. The issue here is the residential versus this type of building in that particular area, impinging so-called on the residential. That's the wrong word. But moving that way, yes, further east it is, and we used to have to give money, if you remember this. The superintendent came to us and said, hey, give us some money, we need to build that industrial area up out there, and that has been done. That has been complete. But anyway, that's just an issue if it looks fine and fits in, but I caution all of us on, I'm not trying to knock it down, but I'm trying to say, let's be considerate of our residential area and not impinge too far in there on it.
Yeah, each of you need to make your own decision. I'm just presenting the facts.
I understand that, I understand it, and you do one heck of a job, of course, but, thanks. Any other comments?
A related comment or question on that. If it were to, so Area 1 is remaining residential, correct?
Correct.
Speaking specifically to Area 2, and I haven't been in Area 2 there, if it were to remain residential, have you been back there? Do you think there would be opportunities to develop it into some type of residential?
I think that there could be opportunity for some multifamily or residential, yeah. It's hard telling what, you know, it could become something that is more of a problem or eyesore than what is being proposed, and it could not. So it's hard to gauge, you know, what could possibly be.
I was just curious if there were any
But yeah,
hindrances
no,
back there.
Yeah, it could be.
All right, any other comments? We move on here.
Yes, Mayor, I'd
Yeah.
just like to comment on it quickly. I think the way I debate this in my mind, I think, and you kind of described it, is just, you know, I think it'd be more ideal in one sense for housing, if possible. But I will say I've attended the last two planning and zoning meetings that Mr. Albright presented at. The initial one, there was a lot of opposition, I think it's fair to say. If I remember correctly, that was tabled at that meeting. And then he came back at this last one, and in between, had made the attempt to talk to all the neighbors and made the adjustments that you referenced to it, Matt, to increase the landscape barrier and other things. And it seemed like that was a positive for a lot of folks in the neighborhood. But I do agree with the kind of general concern. We're seeing a lot more storage sheds. I know we're working on housing, and so on a site like this, it becomes a little difficult at times, but
Yeah, we are for sure. We need
Yeah.
to find that balance as
Yeah.
a council as well, so.
yeah, nope, that's right. So I will support this, but I think as an overall concern about where we put these. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, well put. All right, thanks, Matt. Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2530, a resolution of intent to hold a public hearing. Do we have a date on that?
October 20th,
October 20th
5:30.
of 2025, 5:30, right here in the council chambers, on the rezoning petition of 502 South 12th Street. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
By Dana, seconded by Bennett, that we approve Resolution 2530. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries 5-0. E, Clear Lake Consolidated Urban Renewal Plan Amendment, intro review by Mr. Deers, City Administrator. Welcome again, Steve.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Yes, so tonight, we're looking to amend our urban renewal area for 3 projects. So, as you know, anytime you want to utilize any type of tax increment financing within the urban renewal area, you must amend that project into the plan. And so that's what we're looking to start that process tonight. We've got 3, this is for our downtown urban renewal plan. We have 3 projects that we're looking to set public hearing on for our November 3rd meeting at 5:30 PM. Those would be for a project with CRJ Properties, which is the building downtown located at 2 North 4th Street. That project was recently remodeled, and we had discussed doing a tax rebate for that project, so that project would be admitted into the plan. We also have a tax incentive for the chamber project that's ongoing downtown. That's getting amended into this plan here. And then finally, the Lake Theater with the project we're looking at there that's a forgivable loan in that regard. So those 3 projects would be amended into the plan that we would look to then hold that public hearing on November 3rd and then take action after that as far as entering into individual development agreements.
Questions? Steve, Council? None appearing. Thank you, Steve. I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2530 Rudden Resolution setting a date for a public hearing, which shall be November 3rd, 2025, 5:30 PM here in the city chambers on urban renewal plan amendment for Clear Lake Consolidated Urban Renewal Area. Motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Mark, seconded by Creighton, that we approve Resolution 2531. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries 5-0. Proposal to vacate right-of-way and dispose of city's interest by sale to Eric Borland. Review a request. Matt Stedding, city engineer, welcome again.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. This will be a pretty quick one here. Eric Borland with Complete Concrete had reached out to me previously about possibly acquiring the city-owned right-of-way that abuts his property to the south. So his property is located at 1313 Second Ave South. It's right adjacent to our Public Works facility. Many of you remember last year in 2024, we vacated and sold right-of-way, roughly 60 by 150 feet to Will and Nancy Paltzer. So that right-of-way abuts this portion of right-of-way, which this one's actually a smaller portion. It's 30 by 150, so roughly 4,500 square feet. It's really just for him to kind of expand and have a little more space to store. And quite honestly, it's more of a nuisance for us to maintain than it is anything. So we'll remain, if you guys do choose to move forward, we would continue to have an easement remain over top of it because our existing utilities, much the same agreement that we had with the Pulsars when we went through that. So yeah, that's in a nutshell pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Question or? Okay. Therefore, I'll entertain, thank you. Therefore, I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2531, a resolution setting the time and place to conduct a public hearing and consider the vacation and sale of certain undeveloped street right-of-way in the city of Clear Lake, Iowa, and referring the same to Planning and Zoning Commission for recommendation. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Mark, that we approve Resolution 2531. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries 5-0. Chief, report.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Just got a couple things to bring you up to speed on from the police department. Last weekend was Harvest Festival, and really well from our point of view on the logistics and everything of the event all day long. It was a good turnout, but we really didn't have any issues or complaints there. that goes to us, working with the chamber and the event planners all year long for all these events. And so this is our last major one until Christmas by the Lake coming up in December, which will have a very similar event map for you to push out here in late November for the December event. Today, last Friday, myself, Lieutenant Rigg, CSO Dykes, and Detective O'Keefe all attended the Remember My Name event in Mason City at the Mason City Room of the library. It's an event we participate in every year. It's remember those that have been affected by domestic violence throughout the years too. And so we do a luncheon. We have a guest speaker come in, and then we have a tree that we tie ribbons on to remember everybody who's been affected by it or the lost their lives from domestic violence in Iowa for the last 25 to 30 years too there. So that was on Friday at noon. And then today, which you may have seen on our social medias, we pushed out to the public finally that Officer Pavelka and Canine Ahis, AKA Ace for the ease of remembering his name, started their 6-week training program with Treetown Kennels. So they started class this morning at 8, going through the training program. They'll do 4 weeks there. They'll come back to work for a couple of weeks, and they'll go back the last 2 weeks of training there to be certified as a dual canine to serve Clear Lake and the Ventura communities. So he will be the only canine in the county once they get their training done here in a couple of weeks. And as I put on our social media post, look forward to some graduation pictures coming up here in a couple of weeks, and we'll bring him in and hopefully have a little ceremony to get him officially sworn in as a Clear Lake police officer in front of you all, if the mayor would be so kind to do so. And then coming up on the 28th, I'll talk about this again on the 20th at the next meeting, just as a reminder, but I'm a member of our area SALT organization with seniors and law enforcement together. So we do a forum every spring and every fall. So we're having our fall forum on the 28th in Mason City at Grace Church. Starts out, I believe, at 9 in the morning. We do a formal program at 10. And we do a luncheon, and what it is just it's an organization, the Sheriff's Office, Mason City Police Department, Clear Lake Police Department, to partner with the seniors in our community there to pass along information, what's going on in the community, what we're seeing as law enforcement. We have some guest speakers coming to this program. The last program, we had somebody come and talk about fraud, specifically how fraudsters are targeting some of our seniors in our community. And this program, we're going to have the county attorney's office come in and talk about some of the services they provide through their office, the Attorney General's office, for those who have been victimized by fraud and what they can do to make those people whole. The DOT's come and talk about some of the street projects coming in the area, the roundabouts that are possibly planned for Mason City, and some of the other changes to the infrastructure and our roadways through the county. And then we'll have a short little brief synopsis where Chief Brinkley, Sheriff Hepperly, and myself will all speak to the group there. Have about 180 to 200 seniors come, feed them lunch. We'll have about 30 vendors there. They can come and meet, free blood pressure testing and some other stuff there too. So spread the word for any of the seniors that you may know that they're all invited on the 28th at 9 in the morning. And that is all I have for you. Unless you have any questions about the monthly report that Jennifer was kind enough to email out last week from you all.
Thank you again for the report. It was excellent. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. That's it.
I look forward to that. The pictures are as good as the story, so whoever's doing that, it's really good.
When I was a kid, I liked the picture books better too, so.
That young officer during Sunday's pancake breakfast came up, it's got the dog.
Blaine, Officer
Blaine,
Pavelka, yep.
Blaine. And he was smiles ear to ear, and his family was with him there, and they were just so thrilled. He says, "Hey, Mayor," he said, "Monday I head up to Forest City with the dog." He's got a name?
We call him Ace as a nickname, but his name is Ahis, A-H-E-S.
He was thrilled to death to even go through that training and so on with that dog. So I think that's the only dog within a huge radius. Maybe you said that.
Yeah, but it's the only one in the county, yes.
Yeah, that's neat. That's
Yeah,
neat.
I'm sure Blaine didn't sleep at all last night, I almost guarantee it.
Yeah. Thank you. Public Work Director's report. Jeremy Kornberg, review of proposed cemetery fee increase.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I'm going to cover a couple things first, and then I'll cover the cemetery, because I think that needs your approval on it. So a couple things, just to kind of The large item drop-off is this week, starts Thursday. So Thursday hours 8 to 6, Friday 8 to 5, and Saturday 8 to 1. Just as a notice, if you're listening, entrances on 2nd Avenue, exit onto 4th Avenue. Yard waste will remain open during those hours as well. We will close our yard waste after hours, so we're not having illegal dropped off stuff for confusing items. So we kind of apologize for that, a little bit of a issue there, but, and then we would ask that the yard waste individuals also follow the same traffic, just for safety issues. I've been going on for a few years doing this way. It's been absolutely amazing. I think the guys love it. All the feedback we've gotten from people that come there has been great. So yeah, just a reminder for that. And then also another housekeeping item is I got a couple of our operators are going to be going to a snowplow operator training this week down in Waukee. So they have a training one day, and then they get to go back the next day, and they have it's called a rodeo. So they have they get to drive a truck and go through an obstacle course, and they get scored and rated as a team. And I don't know, if they do well enough, I think they can qualify for like a national event. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So never sent anybody down to it before, so it'll be interesting to hear what we get back from that. So, and then, so what I was on here for tonight was the cemetery fees and the increases there. So what kind of triggered this is one, we haven't touched our cemetery rates for, I don't know, 20 years. So, obviously, like everything else, prices, costs, everything changed, but really what triggered this was the new columbarium units that we bought, and those are actually scheduled to be set the 14th. So those will get set, and then they still got to do some paperwork, so those should be up here hopefully in the next month or so. I put together a pricing list here for you. I didn't really change the space sales because our old cemetery is still kind of there. We have a new addition eventually, but we can cover that when that comes. So the big change there was to cover the new cost of the columbariums. The old cost was around between $900 and $1,300 depending on where you were at on the columbarium. With the new costs, to cover the costs and the engravings, our suggested price would be the standard niches would be $1,600, and then the corner niches would be $1,750. So the standard niche is just the ones on the ends that have two facings. So essentially you'd have one piece of granite that two niches share. And then the ones on the corner is just, you get that whole piece of granite. They both are essentially the same size niche. They can both hold two cremations. But it's just a kind of a preference situation there. And then I'm not going to run through every single one of these changes, but for our grave openings and closings, I just kind of looked at what the amount of hours we put in to an opening kind of on average. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, just depending on the weather and the conditions and the amount of landscaping and I mean, it can vary greatly. But so I just kind of looked at that, looked at where we were prior, and then kind of looked around at some other cemeteries and just trying to create an increase that kind of covers our costs just a little bit better there. So you can see that rundown all the way from just our normal full openings to our cremations and all the way through there. So obviously I'll answer any questions you have on that, but just more in line, just to kind of cover a lot of our costs there. Obviously, we're not trying to make money on a cemetery, but a lot of these were in situations where, you know, we're obviously, Jacob would say we're losing, Creighton was our finance officer once too. So yeah, hopefully this will just kind of help us stay kind of even there.
We've ordered two, right? Columbariums.
Yes, yep. So there'll be a total of 144 niches to be sold there. So, and we already have a waiting list on them. So I think it's in the double digits already almost, so 10.
And you said a while back that along 20th Street, we've got one more row.
We are filling that row as we speak. I think I did count before our meeting. I think we have around 70 spaces is it for sale. So,
Any other questions for Jeremy, council? Thank you.
all right, thank you.
Anything else, Matt, under city engineer?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, just real quick, so our 2025 street and utility improvement project out in the Highland Drive area. So we have, contractors have water run down south side of 6th, across 17th, and up and tied in today on 7th into our existing water main. So they're moving along really good. A lot of utilities to go above, under, around. They're ahead of schedule, so that's going really well. And I just ask that residents kind of bear with us. We're doing the best we can to get those drives put back in and everything functioning as was. So, yeah. And then Surf District, we have a lot of the area down there has been completed. So right now we got the plaza area completed. Wapsie Pines is up there laying pavers right now. And then they're also, if you notice when you drive down there, they're beautifying all of the planter beds. So getting those all plants installed there. And then we're working on the lake connection piece right now. So we're getting the piers and concrete installed in that area. So everything's going really well. And if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Otherwise, that's all I got for tonight.
Anything for, thanks, Matt. Director of Finance Administrative Services report, Jacob, not here, nothing. Under Mayor's report, Chad Schreck, North Iowa Corridor.
Thank you, Mayor,
Welcome.
Council. No, just congratulations, commend you guys again on a great process with the hotel and Surf District. I think just another example of what makes us different as a community. People get together and might have disagreements and concerns about things, but work through it and just come up with, I think, a great project that meets all the needs. So that's exciting to see that continue to move forward. Appreciate how you guys have handled all of that. Kind of a cool project we're working on right now over at the airport. I think I mentioned this last time I spoke with you, but I have a really neat manufacturing opportunity with a company that manufactures parts for airplanes, and been talking with Matt and Steve and folks in Mason City and at the airport and in the county, because again, it's a Mason City Airport out in the county, getting city utilities here in Clear Lake. So it's an interesting one to be working through, but it's been really great. We've already had 2 visits from the personnel from the company, and they just contacted me this morning. Want to come back again in a few weeks, so I'll be talking to you guys about that. Usually when you have people that want to visit in person, it's a really good indicator that they're very serious. So we're excited about that one. Would be about 100 jobs and a good sized facility. So continue to work through processes on that. We've also seen significant lead development recently in retail things in this community. Some things that I probably can't say a whole lot more than that about, because it gets pretty obvious pretty fast on some of those what we're talking about. But some really good things in the works right now on the project side. Continue to work with our data center committee as well, as we're reviewing that and kind of trying to prioritize what the right direction is on that over in the industrial park in Mason City, because that's obviously a big impact project in a lot of ways. So we're trying to make sure that we've got a lot of local partners at the table on that, trying to figure out, how do we want to approach that, what's the right thing, and making sure that is the right thing, right, and what that could look like. So continue to work through that process. The Thriving Communities Group on housing, we met again here over the last few weeks and continue to meet every 2 weeks as we put together and prioritize our goals on that, including site locations for potential development, developer field day coming up. Just trying to make sure, again, that we're prioritizing things in the right way, deciding what kind of developments make sense to take advantage of that Thriving Communities designation, and creating the right relationships, again, to find good, strong partners. Obviously, we've got some great ones locally and great ones that have already done projects. Just trying to see what that should look like going forward. So really appreciate the team on that. A lot of good things in the works. Have a good conversation coming up with the superintendent over at Clear Lake Schools here in a few weeks as well. We met about a month ago, and we're going to continue meeting regularly. We're putting together a professional development day for teachers. They do that every month, of course. But we're looking at doing visits out to businesses and just trying to build those connections with their teachers. We've done a lot of things with students doing that, but making sure our teachers are aware of our businesses, our opportunities, the types of careers that we've got. and just how we can build connections between the teachers and classes and what they do in their room out into our business community. So it's going to be a lot of fun to put that together. We also had a really good call today with the Iowa Economic Development Authority's marketing team. As you know, we're part of the This is Iowa pilot program, which again is a marketing effort that the state's leading. So it's great to have them really trying to tell our story for us. And they were looking for stories of local businesses, local leaders, people that have grew up in the community, maybe moved away and then came back, and why. And just whatever kind of stories we could come up with. And fortunately right now that's really easy. So that's us, the Clear Lake Chamber, Mason City Chamber, Visit Mason City, and a few other partners involved in that discussion. But I think by the end of the 45-minute call, we had about 100 ideas for them. So I think their wheels are spinning on all the things they could do to promote us. Coming up October 24th, we have our quarterly Corridor Connect. That'll be over at the Clear Lake Wellness Center. I think we're doing it at 8:30 this time. Really going to do a housing-focused discussion with the Thriving Communities designation and all of that. But again, as always, we'll be talking business needs and business issues. So look forward to that. And then we will host again in our area an Alliant Leadership Roundtable. They just contacted us about that coming up later this month as well out at their headquarters. So I'm pretty sure you guys would have gotten that, but if not, let me know. We'll make sure that you get the invitation. Again, that's for local leaders and business leaders. So I think that's all I've got. Thanks.
Questions for Chad? Council? Thanks, Chad. Mr. Keefe, Clear Lake Fire Department.
Oh, God sakes. Got it tired already from just sitting there. But anyway, Mayor, Council, thanks. I thought Blaine was smiling because of the pancakes, not because of the dog, but that's okay, whatever you wanted to do. As far as calls for September, about 161 calls. That's the most we've had all year. We're at 1166. That's a pretty good number for calls going on right now. Did have a fire call on Main, which could have been a real disaster if they hadn't been home. It's a dryer vent fire. So we encourage people to get those cleaned out. You never know. If you leave the house with your dryer going, matter of fact, a former colleague of mine, Decorah, he left his house and the dryer was going and just about took his house down, took the basement out of it and everything, so it could happen to anybody. So just think about that if you leave the house with your dryer going. We had a great training session, and I think Mr. Ruggles back here will attest to that. We had a great training session in September. We were able to bring in a burn trailer from Milford, Iowa. A gentleman, excuse me, a gentleman operates that as a training aid for the state of Iowa, and it allows you to put guys in there on a variety of levels of firefighting operations, and did a great job. We're going to be bringing him back in next year. He has a flashover trailer, so if you've never been in one, he controls that, and you're in there and it flashes over on top of you. You get to experience that as a firefighter. You hope you never get to experience it, but when it happens, you got to know what to do. So we're going to try and get him back here, and then we'll have everybody in the county invited to that. We had Swaledale and Ventura here for our other training, so I hope to get them back in so we can do it on the Saturday and get everybody else involved. September 11th was a great day. We had a great speaker. Came in, a local gentleman came and talked to us about his day, that particular day. We're planning for 26. We've got our speaker hired. He's going to be here, New York firefighter. I think he's the last firefighter that was in the towers before they collapsed, so he's going to give his story. We're looking at the possibility of bringing back some people that were around at 25 years ago and have them be part of our program and see if they can't get them to give them some reflection about what happened. We were also gifted. A lady was in New York the day of 9/11, 24 years ago, and she was able to buy the paper for September 12th and September 13th of 2001. She's given those papers to the fire department now. We're going to put those on display. We'll have those papers hopefully on our stairway going to the second floor in an area to show what was going on right out of the paper in New York at the time. So we thanked her for that gift. It's kind of cool to see that. So we're going to do that. I guess that's about everything I can think of. The statue's going good. The statue is in progress. We're going to hopefully get a trip up there to take a look at that. see how that goes, but they said it was going well for us, and we will have that available next year. The fire truck parade's still going forward. As I talked to Aaron there about that, he's part of the chairman on that committee to look forward to that. We're still gonna try and get those trucks here. And Halloween night, we will have trick or treat at the fire station. So we're gonna get that information out there. We did it last year and seemed to be a good response, so we're gonna try and do it again on Halloween night. I think it's gonna start at 5. We'll have trucks out and have a few things going on down there, some houses, some fun things for the kids to do, so that'll be, give them a place to go and give them some free candy. Anything else I can think of?
Any questions? That Billy Lyons that spoke,
Yeah, wasn't he?
yeah, what, retired colonel, U.S. I can remember he is a little kid in my backyard, the neighbor over there, you know, messing around. And, you know, he went to Air Force Academy. You know, got out there, flew F-16s his whole
Yep,
time,
so
as he
great, yep.
said, you know.
It was fun. Doug got a hold of him, and he just
I
said,
mean,
yeah,
he's
he'd
a
love to come
local
up.
hero.
Yeah,
I mean,
he'd
right
love
there.
to come up, he said, so he
Yeah.
came up and did a good job. And we had a really good crowd. For next year's, obviously, we're gonna be doing something a little bit different, because to cut down on traffic noise and stuff for that, we're gonna get the street closed for about an hour, so our speaker can have a good time, so we're not having motorcycles and semis and trucks coming by, you know, we'll get it done some way.
He told me he flew during Desert Storm from Nevada to Iraq and back, nonstop, 13 hours in an F-16. Now, that's like this,
Yeah,
for 13 hours.
I thought maybe his arms were tired
Wow.
flying that far, but I didn't know.
Unbelievable. Thank you. Sorry for my interjections here. But, you know, young man, done very, very well. I want to compliment our own Jennifer, our city clerk. She was chair, once again, for Harvest Fest this weekend, and I think that was the biggest how do I know? I didn't stand there count. 1, 2, 3. But there were a ton of people there, and the wind blew, yeah. That wind was blowing X number of miles an hour, and that took some people out of it, but it was just a wonderful, wonderful way to get people to Clear Lake, and it sure did. You gotta look at the ranking of our football team in the paper today. Number one in, help me, 3A, I think that is. So you couldn't find a place in those stands last week, and this is homecoming week, so look out for the shenanigans, anyway. We got good kids. Anyway. There'll be a homecoming parade at 1:45, I believe, Chief? 1:30, and then they'll have a little pep rally down at the band shell on Friday.
Friday at 1:30, yeah, and they'll go down to the band show.
Yeah,
We'll have the pep rally on there.
Yeah.
We'll escort them, starting at the EV Stolen lot all the way down there.
good, yeah. So we can get out and give those kids their due, that's well, and, you know, all those fall sports people are doing well. Mr. Deers, comments?
Yeah, just a couple things. Just a reminder, goal-setting surveys are due this Friday for elected officials and staff. So get those turned in, please. There's an email address on there to send them to. We also ask that you copy Jennifer and I on that so we can keep track of who we have to harass on Friday. So appreciate that. Last week, we conducted EMS captain interviews, and so we're getting close to making an offer on that, getting that position filled, so that'll be great. And then just to follow up on what Chad said about Thriving Communities, that field day, I know I mentioned this before, but October 16th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we look to invite developers here, and we're going to invite city council, planning and zoning members, board of adjustment members, anybody that's available that wants to attend, you're going to be welcome to attend. So you'll be getting an official invite here, but just to pencil that in for your availability. Otherwise, that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Anything else, council?